Hi, welcome to my latest video. Today I'm outside in the glorious spring sunshine. Pit Lane Kitty's out here as well. She's been doing a bit of sunbathing. She's caught 2 rats in the last 24 hours, so she is doing well with her job. I'm not doing quite so well with my YouTubing. In the autumn I was meant to do an LED video series looking at LED bulbs. Ideal weather for it in the winter, nice and dark, looking at those beam patterns and measuring brightnesses of bulbs. Did I get it done? No, didn't get it done. I was going to do it today. I'm still not going to get it done today because I have unfinished business with my headlight upgrade. So the headlight upgrade was last weekend, and that was possibly going to be part 1 of the LED bulb series, but because it was actually looking at the headlight unit itself, I decided to make that as a sort of standalone headlight upgrade video, and then today start the LED bulb series. Unfortunately, I can't do that because I've got more to show you. I need to do the main beam bulb, and I was going to do that as a sort of LED main beams part 1 of the LED series, but I found some other problems with this headlight upgrade. What I didn't want to do was put up a headlight upgrade video and say, there you go, projector headlights, LED dip beam bulbs, which I said I'd never do, but I decided to do it, and everything looked great. But there are some problems, okay, and the problems are with the bulb clearance, okay. So if I don't do a part 2, people are going to watch the video on its own, they're going to copy what I've done, and then they're going to find the same problems as me. So I need to do a part 2 to make people watch the next part. The issue is with the beam adjustment. Okay, so I will show you. It's this knob here. Okay, the beam adjustments. You do need ignition on for that. Let's just put the ignition on. Okay. Now, if I put the window down, it might be a little bit easier. Reach in. Right, so when I move this thing here, we should hear some motors running, and we're not hearing anything at all. We're hearing the throttle body servo thing kind of whining away, but we're not hearing the motors in here. So if I just remove my quick release air horns and a quick look in here, oh dear, look, we've actually got an LED in the fuse box. LED fuses, what a brilliant invention. Here we go, Halford's LED fuses. Really, really good idea. So these light up when they're blown. So this one has blown, and that is the fuse for the beam adjusters. Why has the fuse blown? Let's just turn off the ignition and right, okay, that's fine. I'll better pop the key out of the dot. Right, otherwise the radio will be on and I'll get a YouTube copyright strike. Okay, so beam adjustment motor blowing its fuse. Now I did have this a while back with my halogen bulbs, and it was because the mechanism inside, so I'll show you what it is. There's these motor things, these look like little servos. Okay, so I'm guessing it's like a pulse width modulated servo type of thing. How many pins have we got there? 3 pins. Okay, so if you've ever played around with radio controlled cars as a child, you'll know how you have servos for the steering and the throttle or whatever. Very similar kind of thing here. Okay, so this just moves in and out, and it moves the whole, not the whole headlight, but the reflector thing behind. Okay, so that sort of tips. And when I had this issue before, all it needed was a little bit of grease on the linkages. Okay, so that sort of ball joint thing at the end would got a bit dry and seized, lubricated that up, and it was working again. Put the new headlights in, everything looks great. Got the nice bright white headlight LED bulbs, great beam pattern and everything. Go to adjust it just to see if it works still, and it doesn't work. Nothing happens. What is going on? Well, I know what's going on. It's these rear covers. Okay, so here's a spare one. Okay, so where I threw away my old headlights, I took the 2 covers off the back. One had broken clip, so I threw it away, and I've got this third one. Okay, so the new headlights came with a cover each, and then I've got this one left over from before. The LED bulbs on the dip beam, I haven't even looked at the main beams yet. I'm still running just halogens in the main. Okay, but the dip beam LEDs, because it's got this fan thing on the back, it sits in like that, and it is really hard up against the rear cover. Here's a little clip now of me putting the rear cover on with the new headlights. Oh, look at that. Oh God, it's that is tight. That will click. Oh God, that is a tight fit. That fan, right, that's clicked. It's on. The rear cover does fit on, but it's a very tight fit. That was a job getting those things to clip in. I'm worried that that is pressing hard against the back of that bulb. I mean, that fan, as you can see, it's a real tight fit. The clips do clip on, but the bulb is pressed so hard up against there that it can't do its kind of beam adjustment swivel thing. Now what I'm going to do here is just release these. I've already taken out my little quick release kind of these things here, which I've shown in previous videos. M6 20mm long stainless thumb wheel thing, brilliant for putting up here. Okay, so let's just try and release this. Right, I'm going to just pull these headlights out slightly. I'm going to need both hands for that. I'm just going to unclip the rear covers. I'm going to change that fuse for another one. Luckily I bought two, and we'll just see if the motors operate, and then that will confirm that it is the rear covers that are jamming them and stopping them operating. What I do about it then, I'm not really sure. Do I change the bulbs? Do I try to modify this somehow? Could I heat that up? Could I even 3D print a complete new cover that's slightly deeper? I'm not sure. One option that I thought of is some large grommets. Okay, so these are 50mm blanking grommets. I could probably sort of put them, like cut a hole where the bulb, so where the back of the bulb is, and sort of stick them in, and that way they're a bit flexible, you see, so they'll sort of allow the bulb to move. It's an idea. I'm not really sure. I'm going to try and solve the problem in this video. That is why this is not going to be part one of the LED bulb video. Okay, we're still looking at the headlights. Okay, so part two of the headlight upgrade, and then I'll do part one of the LED bulbs as soon as possible. Okay, so right, let's get the headlights out, let's get the rear covers off and change the fuse, see if I can get that motor operating. Okay, that one's out. There's the rear cover just popped away slightly. Let's do this one now. Okay, so I've got my kind of new special quick release headlight rod things. There, you can see they're much stronger than the black rods that always snap. Let's just pop this one. Right, there we go. Well, that one wasn't even clipped on actually. Okay, so there is the back of the bulb. Leave the connector connected because otherwise the motors won't operate. Let's do the fuse now. So let's find the magic tool. Okay, this thing here. Pull out that one, so that's rubbish. Okay, and we'll stick in a new one. Ooh. Right, let's get that in the little tool thing. Put it around the right way. Come on, get in there. Right, I think that's in. Okay. Put that back in there. Right, let's just leave all this covers and things off at the moment. Just want to see if this works now. I don't want to run without the rear covers. It's just going to let dust and dirt inside the headlights. Okay, key in. Oh, there we go. You can hear them operating. Okay, so let me just try that again. Okay, so I'm just going to reach in now and hold the camera a bit closer. There you go. Right, so that's what happens. The motors operate for a short time. Now what's interesting is the bulb really doesn't look like it's moving. The reflector, this sort of gap at the bottom here, just opens and closes slightly. I mean, it doesn't move by much. So the bulb, actually, the amount of movement at the back of the bulb is hardly anything. So if those bulb fan back bit was pressed against the grommet, it's not ideal for the airflow. It's going to block the airflow, which is not great, but I don't get a lot of choice here really. I just there's not much room behind here because I've got kind of cables and things here. We've got pipes and washer things and everything. There's not a lot of room. So what I thought originally was I'll just sort of cut all of this out and just make a much bigger, deeper kind of cover. I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm hoping that that has got enough flex to just sort of allow a little bit of air to flow. I think even with the fan blocked like that, the airflow will still take place in those kind of fins and things there. I don't think they actually get that hot, really. But right, let's turn off the ignition. It's still on. So this is set to maximum upness, okay? So the highest beam. It's way too light at the moment for looking at the beam aim. And the beam aim, actually, I did measure that when I first put the LED dips in with the projectors, and it was fine. I checked it on some cars in the distance and it wasn't coming too high up the back of those cars. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and get the headlight units totally out. Let's try and unclip. Okay, right, there's one of the covers. Now there's a couple of things here slightly oddly. This here, little sort of tab with a hole, and there is actually a very small sort of threaded hole there, but I've never ever seen a screw put in there. It's a bit pointless really because you've got the clips at the top. So I'm going to probably just possibly cut that off, and I'm also going to cut off these because they're sharp and they keep catching my hands. Okay, so these are where the original black rods clip in, which I don't use anymore because I've got my special uprated headlight release rods. Right, let's get the whole unit out. Try and put this on the table. Okay, so here is the headlight. We can see the LED bulb there for the dip beam. Because of this big kind of fisheye projector thing, it does sit quite far back. Main, I don't think is going to be an issue because that's deep down in there. Even if I fit my H7 LED mains, they are so far in, they're not going to cause an issue at all. Okay, but dip is a problem with running these LEDs. Other LEDs often have fans on as well. You know, these ones have got fans. You can get some that don't have a fan. They'd probably be okay. I don't really want to run some of the other brands of LED bulb. Some of them are crazy brightnesses. I'll save those for the main beam, and I'll show those in my LED bulb video. Part 1 of the LED bulb video will be looking at the theory. Probably part 2 will be main beam bulbs. Okay, so what I need to do is, so let's have a look. So we can use this. So we've got so many of these. Right, cover. Let's have a look at this one. That's pretty good. Okay, let's try and see what state this is in. I need to pick the best 3 of these covers. Right. Oh, hang on a minute. I've just noticed something on this one. Right, look at that. Goodness. There's a massive crack running along it, all the way along the bottom. Huge crack from there, all the way along. So that one is no good. Right, that's looking at the state of it, that's one of the ones off my old lights. So that's no good. That will be going in the bin. So these are the ones. Okay, luckily they're nice and clean. Okay, they are good. The seals aren't too bad, a little bit old, but yeah, that seal's a lot better actually, that one. I think this was one from the new lights, and this is one I think from my old lights that I've cleaned up, but the seal's okay, it's not too bad. The clips are good, there's no cracks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a 50mm hole saw. These grommets are 50mm, and I'm going to cut a hole. Let's put this on. Okay, so that goes on. Get this lined up right. Right. Okay, so where's... I did measure it up the other day. Okay, so I reckon if I cut a hole kind of up there, that will coincide with the bulb when that's all clipped in. Okay, so it's sort of not right up in the corner, but just kind of sort of like so, where just where it starts to roll around the edge, kind of like that. So cut a hole, put that in, and see if that works. Right, bit of a mess. But we have a nice neat hole in the back of that. So this 50mm grommet should hopefully go in there quite nicely. Yeah, it does. Oh, look, and it's even got a nice dome shape to it, which is exactly what I want. Oops. Let's see how this grommet goes. There we go, that's perfect. Look at that, it's even got a nice dome shape. So inside there's now extra clearance for the back of that bulb. Perfect. Okay, so I've just got the headlight here. I'm just going to put this on and just see how close the bulb is to this hole here. So let's just get that in there. Right, now this is... There we go. Right. Ah, okay, now that's a bit odd. That's really strange. What is going on here? That was meant to be hard up against the cover. Are these lights dipped? Did I leave them dipped? I think I might have left them in the dip position. But as that dips, that should... surely it should push the bulb even closer, and that's what was blowing the fuse. I'm now absolutely baffled by this. I thought this was hard up against the rear cover. Are these covers deeper than the other cracked one, which I've already thrown in the bin? This is really... This is really strange. Right, well that one won't fit because that's the other side. Okay, so there is actually a little date stamp thing here. That is, it says 11 and it's pointing at the 5, so it's May 2011. This one is 09 January. Okay, so that is one of my original halogen back covers. One of the new ones had a broken clip and one of the old ones had crack running along it. So I'm now down to 2. I've made this hole here and the back of the bulb is nowhere near it. What is going on? What is going on? That's really odd, but it blew the fuse with the covers on. And then without the cover, it was fine. I don't know what is going on here. Right, what I'm going to do is, there's a possibility that I've left the headlights in the fully dipped position. I can't remember where I left the switch. Let's have a look at the switch now. I'll just say, not the switch, but the kind of, right, that's in the up position. Oh, I don't know what is going on with this now. This is really strange. I've cut this hole now for no reason at all. It serves as a quick access for the changing the bulb, maybe. Oh, what a pain. That's really odd. I don't understand now why. I wonder if it was blowing the fuse because the mechanism was stiff like it was before, and all it needs is a bit of oil. But this goes to show there's a lot of room around there. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this one back in, just one of them, operate the dip motor, and we'll just see if this bulb gets any closer to the back here, because something was causing that motor to blow, and then when the cover was removed it worked fine. Okay, so I've just put that light loosely in there. You can see that gap between the rear reflector and this sort of front silver piece. That's probably about 10mm gap. Let's operate the light adjuster. Now that one's not even plugged in, okay, so I'm sure it'll work with just one. Let's just try this and see, because I'm getting really confused now. Okay, right, I can hear the motor running, and that gap has got bigger. Okay, so that's good 15mm, maybe more. Okay, so the light sort of swivels. It's kind of connected at the top, and it swivels the bottom, so the top is the pivot and the bottom moves back on that motor. So with it fully back, let's have a little look and see. No, there's still loads of room. Loads of room. Probably about 15mm of clearance there. Okay. Right. Let's just operate it in the other direction. Right, so it's going up. That gap is closing. And there's still loads of room, exactly the same. The back of the bulb hardly moves. So I'm baffled now. I just don't know what is going on. Something was blowing the fuse. Something was blowing the fuse. Probably just the mechanism needed lubricating. Okay, so I've repeated this on the UK driver's side headlight. I've cut the hole in the back. The fan is visible. There's still a lot of clearance here. I don't know what is going on here, but this one's exactly the same. So it can't have been the bulb pressing against the rear cover that caused the fuse to blow. Right, I'm going to put this one back in and try and operate the beam adjustment. So when I did this earlier with the rear covers clipped in, it blew the fuse. And surely cutting some holes, if the bulb is not pressing against the back, it will make no difference at all. Just going to leave the headlights loose for now, but they're plugged in. Let's have another look at this. Okay, key in. You do need the ignition on. Right, ready? Okay, I can hear them operating. Oh, we're both running. What is going on here? Okay, so what I've done, I've just put a little bit of this spray grease carefully here where that motor ball joint thing has a sort of slider, and also here. You've got to be really careful doing that because I now have a dribble of spray grease on the inside of the plastic, which is annoying, but I'm kind of hoping it will evaporate off and not leave a mark on the inside of the glass. That'd be a disaster if it does. I've done the same on this one. That's okay. I think the trick is to spray it in and immediately put the headlight upright. Don't leave it sort of like this, because otherwise bits drip down in and end up on the inside. I'm sure that'll evaporate off or dry up or whatever. Okay, so rear covers here with the grommets, which are actually not required, but never mind, it's too late now. I've made the holes, bought the grommets, might as well put them to good use. And that is it for this video. I'm going to put these back in, connect them all up, make sure everything works. I'm going to operate the beam adjuster with the rear covers on, with the unnecessary grommets, and yeah, I'll keep an eye on that fuse and see if it blows. I hope that video was useful. All seems like a lot of effort for nothing really, but not everything I do works. That's the whole idea of these videos. I'm filming what I'm doing. Sometimes my projects work out, sometimes they don't. In this case, it was all a lot of effort for nothing. Okay, but the good news is I've now got quick access bulb change. These LEDs last for years, so I'm not going to need that. But if I ever do, I've got a grommet in there. I can pull that out and get to the bulb. Right, that's it. That's it. I hope that video was useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.